Speaker of the House John Boehner usually doesn't vote on House bills himself, but he went out of his way to vote yes on this one. A clean bill to extend America's debt to an unmitigated $17.3 trillion, without a single dollar of cuts in return. Some speculate he has a secret deal with Obama. But at this point, it doesn't really matter, because the critical thing for you to know is this: Boehner sealed the deal on America's economic collapse. It's not just a theory anymore, but a certainty within the next 12 months. You see, you and I have already paid over $2 trillion in interest payments alone over the last 5 years to China and other foreign countries that hate us. We're on a direct path to paying $1.3 trillion a year just to service our debt. But the country is only estimated to take in $1.4 trillion in revenues from massively overburdened taxpayers like you. That puts us on a shocking countdown to crisis, unprecedented in American history. In a moment, you're going to see where all this debt money is going. You'll learn exactly why politicians will collapse the country for their own gain if need be. But please be aware, this is the real crash, and it will rip apart the economy, causing a hiring freeze across all sectors. The stock market will be cut in half. Millions may again lose half their savings and investments. Interest rates will soar, and that will plunge the housing market to historic lows and make mortgages instantly unaffordable if you can even get one. Social Security payments could very well cease in this scenario. Payments hover around $12 billion each month, and with no means to write the checks, 58 million Americans may go without money. There will be a bond market crisis of epic proportions. In fact, under the current scenario, you may be forced to accept negative interest rates as the government forces you to invest in its debt. The only question is, who's looking out for you? In the words of Reagan's budget director, David Stockman, who recently warned of an economic apocalypse, capitalism has morphed into a monopoly ruled by politicians who are serving a wealthy elite. So, unless you're a member of the wealthy elite, when the real crash comes, no one will be safe. Even famed economist Norio Rubini announced that the country has to wake up to the full extent of its fiscal nightmare. Noted bond guru Jeffrey Goodlock said, "Kaboom! I don't believe you're going to get some kind of an early warning." The political elite have pushed our country's unfunded liabilities for things like Social Security and Medicare to an unfathomable $127 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Is it just because of incompetence from the very top? I don't think so. It's more like legalized crime, and the only ones who benefit are the criminals. The bottom line is this: the Fed's out of bullets, and hardworking American taxpayers are out of money. Remember what Maggie Thatcher said? Welfare only works until the government runs out of other people's money to give away. Well, the government has long since run out of other people's money, including yours, and yet it's still giving it away. You see, most of the money this astounding U.S. debt goes to pay for is welfare and other government subsidies. Today, just 101 million working Americans are forced to pay the way for more than 108 million welfare recipients. Throw in the fraudulent free lunch program and WIC, and the figure soars to 114 billion. Every taxpayer in America today is now forced to pay an average of $8,776 annually to keep the federal welfare state afloat. Yet the average welfare recipient is handed $9,500 in what the politicians like to call free government benefits. And then there's the latest boondoggle the politicians have cobbled together: disability. Once reserved for the severely disabled, it now covers everything from back pain to skin rashes. Some 14 million people now receive disability checks. And get this, even drunks can get checks for their, quote, disability, as much as $620 a month from the federal government. Now, consider this. The U.S. government has spent an astounding $3.3 trillion on welfare programs over the last 5 years alone, which adds up to the majority of the federal deficit during the same time period, which means most of the debt goes to paying welfare and subsidies. And now, the politicians have committed to run our country's debt up to an astounding $17.3 trillion to pay for even more subsidies. Once this house of cards collapses, that's the real crash. And now, with this new clean debt ceiling bill, it's inevitable. As I said, stocks will tank and bonds will dip to nothing, Inflation will soar and foreclosures will skyrocket. Massive new tax hikes will be imposed on you and other Americans who are already taxed to the max. And, quite frankly, the streets will teem with those who, used to living off government handouts, may now seek other targets of opportunity they can fleece to pay their bills. It'll be an unprecedented era of American austerity and chaos as the economic cancer takes its final toll. Yet, I want you to know, you can absolutely avoid this fate. Not one politician in Washington is going to look out for your welfare when they're busy taking care of their own bloated welfare rolls. But there's a way you can put your own family out of the reach of Washington's rapacious politicians. And there's no reason on earth not to. That's why I'm talking with you today. I want to give you something for free that shows you in plain language, 1, the inevitability of the coming economic crisis, 2, how to avoid it, and 3, how you can gain extreme wealth by making a few critical moves immediately. It's all in this best-selling book from renowned author Peter Schiff. It's called The Real Crash: How to Save Yourself and Your Country. Once you get it, you'll immediately discover 11 ways to inoculate your cash, portfolio, and assets from fiscal disease. Pages 17, 49, 69, 102, 117, 148, all the way up to page 292. 3 defensive money moves that could save you from financial disaster. Pages 284 to 291. 16 ways you could help put the U.S. back on a course toward solvency. Pages 62, 85, 95, 99, 101, all the way up through 245. Of course, this is just the beginning of the financial life rope you're going to receive. You're also going to discover how you could quadruple your retirement nest egg, even if the markets never recover for the next 12 years. An expert's time-tested method for pinpointing the most lucrative investments for any economy or any market conditions, even the full-on crash. A proven tool for scoring dozens of safe, repeating, double and triple-digit gains. The facts are clear right now. The path is set for the systemic failure of America's financial institutions. The countdown clock is ticking. That's why it's critically important to get a copy of The Real Crash before this thing hits. And you can get it for free, as you'll see in just a moment. The fact is, there is a cure for this disease that's eating away at America from within. And my mission is to help as many serious-minded people as I can to protect and grow their wealth as this political disease advances. Of course, not everyone will listen. But I promise those who do will be thanking their lucky stars they took action when they did. Because the countdown to collapse has now begun. If you've been tuned into the investing scene since 2008, you may already know Peter Schiff, or at least heard about him. Aside from running Euro-Pacific Precious Metals, Schiff has been published, interviewed, or quoted in almost every major source of financial news. From Fortune magazine to the Wall Street Journal to the Washington Post. In short, Schiff is a major force. He's also appeared on most every financial television and radio program on the air, on such networks as Fox, MSNBC, CNBC, Bloomberg, and more. And there's a simple reason for this intense interest in his message. It's because he's got an uncanny record for being right about what's coming down the pike for investors. Back in August of 2006, when the Dow was hitting new highs every day, Schiff said in an interview, "The United States is like the Titanic, and I'm here with a lifeboat trying to get people to leave the ship. I see a real financial crisis coming for the United States." The end result? Just over a year later, the meltdown that became the Great Recession began. On a Fox News televised debate on New Year's Eve 2006, while the U.S. housing market was still roaring, Schiff said, "What's going to happen in 2007 is that real estate prices are going to come crashing back down to earth." The end result? 8 months later, the subprime mortgage bubble burst, triggering the crash of 2008. On a Bloomberg TV interview on December 13, 2007, Schiff predicted a blow-up of credit card finance, which he called a cancer on the free market economy. He predicted that credit card companies would slash credit limits and crush the middle class. He also predicted that the dollar would tumble. The end result? All of this happened, just like falling dominoes. And he's been right about all of it, and not just in TV soundbites. More than a year before the mainstream pundits started sounding the alarm about a possible U.S. market crash, Schiff had the whole disaster mapped out for anyone who would listen. It was all in his first book, Crash Proof: How to Profit from the Coming Economic Collapse. Here, Schiff was one of the first to expose the U.S. government's fiscal and monetary policies as ridiculously dangerous. He raised the alarm bells for the economic impact of imbalances in consumption and trade, America's dramatic decline in personal savings, the ugly truth about the Fed's interest rate scam, the disastrous decline of America from the world's largest lender nation in the 1970s to the world's largest borrower nation by 2000. Schiff predicted what was going to happen, when it was coming, and why it was happening. That's one of the reasons why Ron Paul said, and I quote, "Peter Schiff is right again. I hope more people listen this time." And it's also why I want you to have a copy of Peter Schiff's newest book, The Real Crash: How to Save Yourself and Your Country, for free. There's a disease that's taking hold of America right now, a disease created by the rich and powerful political elite in our country. And make no mistake, it's creating a systemic financial collapse that will be fatal for far too many unsuspecting people. Do politicians care? Absolutely not. They're going to become even richer and more powerful in the process. They've designed it that way, like the insiders in Congress who made a fortune shorting the Great Recession. For them, it will be déjà vu all over again. But you can arm yourself now. Nobody else is going to help you through this. Walk in your bookstore and you'll fork over $25.99 for this hardbound volume. But right here, you won't pay a penny to help protect your life savings. It's free. You won't even pay shipping or handling. Please take your copy of this book. You'll be fully aware of what's being hidden inside the corridors of power in Washington. You'll learn immediately how to handle the destructive manipulation of the free market, the unbounded expansion of the money supply, needless taxation and redistribution of wealth, endless meddling in our health and medical system, hyper-interventionism abroad, out-of-control Social Security and Medicare entitlements, a flat-out ridiculous energy policy, destructive policies in higher education, marriage, the environment, housing, pensions, and so much more. Most importantly, Schiff offers you actionable solutions to put government back in its proper place. 16 concrete changes that regular Americans can demand before the countdown to crisis hits the very end. And to save the money you've spent years working for, Schiff offers 11 ways to inoculate yourself from this crisis. Some of these sound outrageous, that is, until you hear Schiff's reasons why you should do them. For instance, why you should start betting against the American consumer right now. Why and how you should begin shorting the U.S. government immediately. Why you should avoid one particular and popular type of bond at all costs. Why you should pull your money out of traditional IRAs and 401ks today. Why you should not invest in one of today's most popular inflation hedges. Why you shouldn't save or pay for college, for yourself or your kids. Why you should pass up on employer-paid health care coverage. These incredible strategies are waiting for you in the real crash. Even more, Schiff gives you specific investment tactics to help you preserve and grow your assets, even as America experiences a dreadful debt collapse. You can immediately find out how to lock in lifetime payments from secure sources. For 5 decades, from 1950 to 2000, American companies appreciated nicely and made investors good money. Today, that's a thing of the past. The S&P's been flat for 12 years. But as Schiff shows you, now you can actually let quality companies, both U.S. and abroad, pay you generously to own them. All the specifics begin on page 285. Find out why and how to keep cash on hand without losing your shirt. The biggest mistake investors make is not having sufficient assets in cash. But just hanging on to cash can be a big money loser. Most investors move into the so-called safety of bonds. But one popular investment in particular should be avoided at all costs. It's touted as the best protection from inflation, but the truth is, it's just the opposite. Schiff explains every detail on page 286. You can find out the exact amount of gold you should own today. Over the past decade, gold has outperformed any stock market, says Schiff on page 288. There is no such thing as a crash-resistant portfolio that doesn't have gold in it. Today, gold prices are on the way up again, and for good reason. But most investors aren't holding the right amount of gold, especially as the U.S. is forced to debase the dollar. But how much is too much? If you're holding the right amount of the yellow metal, you could be sitting pretty while everyone else is burning money for heat. For details, see page 287 of The Real Crash. You're also going to get much more. The Real Crash will show you how you can actually profit from government bailouts, and you might as well if you can't stop them. Why government subsidies are the kiss of death for any company you're planning on investing in or already own. The one reason you should hold on to a certain number of U.S. dollars, and it's not because they'll go up in value. What's really in store for the future of entitlements, and what you should do instead of counting on them. As promised, you can get your copy of The Real Crash for free. No shipping costs and no questions asked. In fact, there's even more I'd like to send you today for free. You see, career politicians, what I call the wealthy political elite, are focused only on creating bigger debt, creating a welfare society, and promoting their own re-election. It's all about their welfare, not yours. That's why investors have to take matters into their own hands to achieve financial independence. They have to learn how to earn above-average income, prevent losses, identify the coming trends, make oversized gains, and actually prepare to profit from the coming crash. That's why I want you to have every crucial element in our Real Crash Survival Kit. You can get it absolutely free, at no cost to you, right now. In addition to Peter Schiff's The Real Crash, you're also going to get our latest book, The Money Map Method, Lifelong Wealth in a World of Runaway Debt. The main objectives detailed in this amazing book from renowned investing guru Keith Fitzgerald are these: how to tap you into the ongoing transfer of social, political, and financial power to new areas where economic freedom is creating vast wealth. How you can save more and invest better despite the radically changing financial hardships we face from a political system gone bad. How you can build, maintain, and protect lifelong wealth at a time when the government is trying to take over your retirement with new schemes like the MyRA, just proposed by Obama. How to never worry about which individual stocks you should buy. That's right, you'll never have to worry again when you bypass the hit-or-miss speculation Wall Street would have you employ. You can get every detail on these powerful strategies in the Money Map Method, Lifelong Wealth in a World of Runaway Debt. You'll also learn how the financial world has changed since 2008, with different rules for making money than at any point in history thus far. The 3 cardinal rules for making winning investments in Washington's attack on retirees. Why investors who look beyond America's borders to economically free zones will be the ones who thrive through the crash. The proper way to look at consumption and must-have global resources, and how to play the situation for wealth. Why that long-time lie of financial advisors, diversification, is a far inferior investment strategy than the opposite, concentration. You'll get all this, plus 29 other key elements to surviving the social upheaval that will follow the coming crash. Of course, that's not all you'll get with this critical Real Crash Survival Kit. I've shown your survival resources number 1 and 2, yet you're also going to get survival resource number 3, the coming bond market collapse, and how to turn it into mega profits for your family. Read why experts say the bond market crash is unavoidable with America's bankruptcy looming, and see proven strategies for actually profiting from the bond market breakdown. Survival resource number 4, the top 25 investments insulated from the debt collapse. The fuse has been lit on the debt bomb. It's estimated to wipe out more than $600 trillion in wealth worldwide, including bank derivatives. This report tells you about 25 unique, little-known investments that will not only survive the initial blast, but could actually soar in value when everything else is imploding. Survival resource number 5, energy investments that will protect you before hard times hit. No matter what, the world has to run on energy, and the center of the supply chain in oil and gas is white hot. making midstreams one of the best energy investments during the American fallout. Each of these superstars is poised to deliver a double win, according to renowned energy policy expert Dr. Kent Morse. Survival resource number 6, how to double your gold profits in 2014. Inexperienced pundits say gold is done, but our expert Keith Fitzgerald says the American gold sell-off was a huge head fake. Central bankers throughout the world are hoarding gold right now because they know their paper currency is decaying by the hour. You'll see how to double your gold profits within 12 months. In fact, all of this is yours for free, just for accepting a 100% risk-free trial membership to the Money Map Report. For 9 years now, we've been helping people grow their wealth every possible way with the Money Map Report. It hasn't always been easy, but our track record has proven extremely advantageous for our readers, as you'll see in a moment. It's our mission to help as many people as possible create wealth they can bank on, day in and day out. Our goal is to 1. Show you what's coming down the pike. 2. Give you every tool possible for a chance at making oversized gains and income you need to reach financial wealth quickly. And 3, help you transcend the catastrophe and give you the peace of mind you deserve. And we do it all in unique ways, like the 50-40-10 investing strategy created by Chief Investment Strategist Keith Fitzgerald. Here's what the results look like. So, had you invested $10,000 in the S&P index on August 1st, 2000, you would have lost 4.8% of your money. After more than 13 years, you'd be in the hole right now. But take the 50-40-10 strategy created by Keith, and you could be in a life-changing position. Amazingly, we've been able to backtest the results of this method for over a decade, and the results show that just by changing one simple way to invest, you could be sitting on nearly 3.5 times more money than you started with. That's more than a $33,888 return on a $10,000 investment, just by following the Money Map Method's 50-40-10 strategy. And this is just one small example of what Keith can offer for his readers. It's really no wonder that Keith's been crushing the market for years, across the whole gamut of market conditions. As the Director of Financial Security Operations here at Money Map Press, I'm the first one to see the incredible wins Keith's posting for our readers across the board, like the 426%, 352%, 304%, and 300% scores on Yangzhou Coal, Sinovac Biotech, Yingli Green Energy, and Silver Core Metals, or the 215% wins on Navios Maritime, the 211% gain on Gilead Sciences, and the 117% score on NetChin Mobile. Not to mention the gains of 293%, 174%, and 151% on ABB, the MSCI Brazil Index, and Rockwood Holdings. Based on this track record, there's no doubt in my mind that Fitzgerald is the perfect analyst to lead you through the real crash heading our way. Now, remember, the main objectives of the Money Map Report are to tap you into the ongoing transfer of social, political, and economic power that's moving to areas of the world that enjoy economic freedom and growth, and that are not encumbered by profit-killing regulation. To show you how to save more and invest better, despite Washington's efforts to raid your bank account, give your money away to subsidy recipients, and create government retirement schemes that actually keep them in power and you broke. To help you build, maintain, and protect lifelong wealth despite the debt crisis that's beginning to explode. You see, when you concentrate investments the way Keith shows you how to do, making huge sums of money is almost inevitable. It's one of the reasons Warren Buffett never diversifies, as most Wall Street brokers advocate so vehemently. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Keith Fitzgerald is one of the most successful financial gurus today, and the only one willing to show you the real secrets to making money. It's no wonder he appears so frequently on national television shows like Varney and Company and Your World with Cavuto. Frankly, they want his opinion on almost every move the market makes because he's never wrong. So please, don't delay. Let us send this entire Real Crash Survival Kit at absolutely no cost to you. You'll be getting over $248 worth of invaluable resources for free, just for accepting a 100% risk-free trial of Keith Fitzgerald's Money Map Report newsletter, and all the additional research and benefits that come with it. Here's everything you'll get. Survival Resource Number 1, The Real Crash, from renowned author Peter Schiff. Survival Resource Number 2, The Money Map Method, Lifelong Wealth in a World of Runaway Debt, by Keith Fitzgerald. Survival Resource Number 3, The Coming Bond Market Collapse and How to Turn It into Mega Profits for Your Family. Survival Resource Number 4, The Top 25 Investments Insulated from the Debt Collapse. Survival Resource Number 5, Energy Investments that will protect you before hard times hit. Survival Resource Number 6, How to Double Your Gold Profits in 2014. When you add it all up, you'll be getting over $248 worth of the best financial research and recommendations available absolutely free. And it gets even better, because right now you can get all of this, plus you can get Keith Fitzgerald's Money Map Report for just pennies on the dollar. The Money Map Report is not your usual financial research advisory. And when you decide to take a trial offer, here's everything that you'll get. Monthly issues of the Money Map Report, in which you'll get Keith's 2 new recommendations on how, when, and what to invest in. You don't find these anywhere else, and certainly not with this kind of explicit direction. People clamor for this intelligence every single month. You'll also get continuous updates to his subscribers. Keith will send you his portfolio update every week, and more often depending on the market action. You'll know exactly what to do every week with every position he's recommending, along with how, when, and where to play every one of his fast-paced inter-month picks. Jump on it alerts. Keith gets up at 3 a.m. every day to follow the global trading. When an opportunity to jump on profits emerges, you'll get it day or night, and you'll be ready the minute the markets open. Urgent safety switches. Check your inbox for these so you'll know precisely when it's time to exit a position and lock in your gains. Detailed investor briefings, in which Keith reveals new trends he's identified and prepares you for the opportunity in his sights. You'll also get 24/7 access to the Money Map Report web portal. This special members-only site gives instant access to every alert, issue, recommendation, and briefing. Everything is kept up to the minute, so you are always ahead of the curve and in front of the trends. Boots-on-the-ground intel reports. When it comes to making you rich, Keith is a tireless traveler. You'll get Keith's latest missives from the far reaches of the globe as he inspects potential investment recommendations firsthand. Now, the regular price of the Money Map Report is $199 per month. Considering the amazing recommendations and every added benefit I just mentioned, it's a steal at that price. But right now, the first 500 people only who view this special opportunity today can get everything you've seen here for 75% off what others have to pay. That's just $49.50. And you'll receive the entire Real Crash Survival Kit for free. When you add it all up, it comes to over $447 worth of books, reports, and research that you can't get in one place anywhere else, all for about the cost of a nice lunch for 2. The thing is, we have a limited number of these books and reports that we can ship to you. That's why we have to strictly limit this to no more than 500 per day. Of course, the question is, why would we offer you so much and ask so little? Obviously, it's not to make a ton of money. Our organization already does quite well, and we're lucky enough, God willing, that we can afford to lose a little bit on every kit we send out. You see, the real reason is a little different. Every day we see the political elite, the snobs, the millionaires, and the power-mad politicians play games with the American people. It's a ploy to pretend to protest in sound bites on television. Yet the reality is that they need to give away your money to create more and more subsidies to buy votes from those who would rather take your money than pay their own wealth. It's the same political elite who would rather nationalize retirement programs to continue their out-of-control vote buying, pass legislation that requires you to buy fraudulent health insurance plans. The same career politicians who enter office as paupers and leave as multimillionaires. That's what we have to combat. It's not a war fought with guns or bullets, but with information. And the best way to do that is, frankly, to show as many people as possible what's really going on and to help them become financially independent on their own, so they're not subject to the whims of a crazy government. I believe strongly that the best chance to survive and thrive in the coming months is to get the Real Crash Survival Kit. And I want to send it to you for free. You won't even pay shipping or handling, no strings attached. You'll also get the Money Map report and every benefit that goes with it. When you add it all up, it comes to $447 worth of ultra-valuable resources for less than it costs to put gas in your car. And remember, this service comes with a full 100% money-back, gold-clad guarantee for a full 90 days. If you are not oversatisfied beyond your expectations with the Money Map report and everything that comes with it for any reason, just let us know and you'll receive a friendly, prompt refund of every penny you paid. And you'll get to keep everything we've already sent you with our compliments. No fine print, no strings attached, no questions asked. So I urge you, take a moment now and click on the button below. You'll be able to review our secure order form. It costs absolutely nothing. Once you decide to take action, we'll ship you everything immediately. You'll receive the entire Real Crash Survival Kit, including Peter Schiff's The Real Crash, Keith Fitzgerald's Money Map Method, Lifetime Wealth in a World of Runaway Debt. You'll get the coming bond market collapse and how to turn it into mega profits for your family, as well as the top 25 investments insulated from the debt collapse. You'll get the energy investments that will protect you before hard times hit, and also how to double your gold profits in 2014. And of course, you'll begin receiving the amazing Money Map report from Keith Fitzgerald and every single benefit that goes along with it. Of course, you'll also get all of this with an unconditional 100% risk-free guarantee, something you won't get from anyone else. This debt burden we face, it's all too real. $17.3 trillion in debt and no way to even pay the interest on it. We're now on a countdown to crisis. Millions of unsuspecting Americans will be wiped out. Now it's up to you. Give yourself a fighting chance. Just click on the link below for a financial cure that you can get only with the Real Crash Survival Kit. But please, do it now. We only have 500 of these kits to give away today, and considering they're free, they're going very fast. I'm Danielle Odell, Director of Financial Security for the Money Map Report. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. P.S. Please do not forward this message to friends or acquaintances. As I said, I have only a limited number of Real Crash Survival Kits to give away. Thank you.